Hey everybody, welcome to The Root, where new pickers learn to jam better and aspiring pickers learn how to play music with other people. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe to our channel, and let's get started with the first in a series on the Nashville number system, Demystifying the 1, 4, and 5. The Nashville number system is a method of communicating and writing down chord progressions using Arabic numerals instead of letter names to represent what chord we're going to play. The great thing about it is this allows us to communicate between musicians who are using capos. Maybe if you're a guitar player, you might capo up 2 and play in G to be in the key of A. Well, it allows you to communicate with, say, a fiddle player who's not using a capo. It standardizes our terminology, and the best part is that you don't have to know how to read music. Now, there's nothing wrong with reading music. It's a great thing, and understanding chord theory is a really great thing too. But sometimes you just want to be able to go and jam and communicate with other people, and the Nashville number system is the easiest way to do that. In today's lesson, we're going to focus on the most common chords used in bluegrass music, and those are the 1, the 4, and the 5 chords. Now, there are 7 chords in any key. For instance, in G, you would have G, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, and F sharp diminished. So you've got 7 chords. But the first one, the 4th one, and the 5th one, which are G, C, and D, are the most commonly used in our music and in a lot of other styles as well. And because the 1st, 4th, and 5th chords are used so often, we call them the primary chords in a given key. Now, the first step to using the Nashville number system in bluegrass music is to identify the 1, 4, and 5 chords in the key you're going to play in. We're going to start with the key of G and its corresponding scale, the G major scale. The G major scale is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and then back to G. And each of these notes holds a position in the scale known as a scale degree. The next step is to use numbers to rename each note in the G major scale. G will be renamed 1, A is 2, B is 3, C is 4, D is 5, E is 6, and F sharp is 7. Then we return to G, which could be called 8, but we just call that 1 again because it's just another G note. Now that you've renamed all of those notes with numbers, you are officially using the Nashville number system. Now, each one of these note names and each one of these numbers is going to represent a chord. And in the key of G, we are looking for our 1, 4, and 5 chords, which are G, C, and D. Those are the 3 most common chords in the key of G, and there are hundreds and hundreds of songs you can play just from knowing those chords. And now you can communicate about hundreds of songs and write down charts for hundreds of songs just using those 3 numbers, 1, 4, and 5. Now that we've identified the 1, 4, and 5 in the key of G, that would be G, C, and D, here's how to use them. Every time you play a 1 chord in the key of G, which is a G chord, you would holler out 1. You just yell 1. This is if you're telling someone else how to play this song. If you're just playing by yourself, you don't have to do that unless you're trying to practice this. When you play a C chord, which is our 4 chord, you would holler out 4. 4. And then when you play a D chord, you would holler out 5. So if you were to use those in a jam session, it might look like this. This is going to be a familiar chord progression. In fact, if you go back to an earlier Bluegrass Pride video and watch Bill Evans' video on chord progressions, you might just recognize these chord changes. So here we go. I'm going to play a chord progression, and I'm going to holler out 1 every time I play G, 4 every time I play C, and 5 every time I play D. Here we go. 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1. that's how you use the Nashville number system verbally to communicate with other musicians. But you can also use hand signals. So maybe you're not playing, maybe you're singing a song. Well, you can use hand signals to signal what you would want someone else to play. So when that G chord, if you're in the key of G, when that G chord happens, then you want everybody to play a 1 chord, you just tell them 1 using hand signals. And then for the C chord, which is our 4 chord, you would say 4. And then for our D chord, well, you wouldn't say it, you just wave it because you're probably singing. For our D chord, which is the 5 chord, you just hold up 5. And you can do that throughout the song as you play it to give everybody signals which chords you want them to play. That's how you can communicate using hand signals if you're tied up and you just can't holler out the chords, or maybe it's just too hard to holler it loud enough over all of the musicians playing. Now, at some jam sessions, you may see and hear both of these things happening at the same time. Now, finally, you can use these numbers to write down a chord chart as well. So anywhere you would write a G, you would just put a 1. Anywhere you would write a C, you would put a 4. Anywhere you would write a D, you put a 5. And this allows you to have flexibility with key changes. So maybe you want to sing a song in G. If you write it out using G, C, and D, and then later decide, oh, I think I actually want to sing this song in A, well, that chart's not very useful to anybody. But if you write it out in numbers using 1, 4, and 5, then later when you decide to change keys to A, everyone can just shift what their 1, 4, and 5 is going to be. Now the 1, 4, and 5 are positions in a scale, and that means they're going to be a different set of chords for each key. There's 12 major keys. So next I'm going to give you a little cheat sheet that's going to show you the 1, 4, and 5 in the remaining 11 keys. And your job is to one by one memorize the 1, 4, and 5 in each of these keys and start to use them in your local jam. And before you know it, you'll be using the Nashville number system like a pro and communicating with other musicians, helping everybody understand what's going on and being a better part of your musical community. This video is brought to you by the Murphy Method, where you can learn bluegrass by ear. The Murphy Method provides lessons, downloads, DVDs, and music camps that welcome everyone. Get 25% off using the promo code PRIDE25. A little bit of trivia for you. I learned many of my first mandolin songs from the VHS tapes made by Murphy Henry of the Murphy Method. So there you have it, the Murphy Method. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll hit the subscribe button, and also please tap that like button. It helps the channel out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And if you don't want to miss future videos, make sure to tap that notification bell as well, and you'll be notified every time there's a new video. This channel posts a new video every single month on the 15th.